Deep within a bleak and dismal era, hidden within the murky internet, lies the headquarters of the most sinister geeks of all time. A Legion on Zoom.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Legion on Zoom. This would be part 2 of our LoZ Goes to the Movies Bonanza. And as always, I'm Ches.
And I'm Miguel.
And I'm Rod. Ready to talk some shit. Let's talk about some movies, man.
Some movies and shit, or some movie shit. Either or. And on the heels of our previous episode, this is our trip to the movies part 2. I know I said it previously, but I just wanted to say that out loud too. First things I want to talk about is this trailer actually kind of seems out of place. It's also one of the first times since we started the show that we've all seen the trailer at the same time before we started recording, so we don't have to teleport. And the Batman Spirit of the Dragon, did I get the name correct, right?
Wait, is that the name of the movie?
Yeah, Spirit of the Batman Spirit of the Dragon, right?
Damn, cool.
Or Batman Soul of the Dragon.
Yeah, Soul of the Dragon. Soul of the Dragon.
I want to make a philosophical distinction that there is a difference between spirit and soul.
Damn,
tell me more.
We'll dive into that later. But yeah, that trailer was really interesting. Of course, it pays homage to either to the old school Bruce Lee movies of yore, and that whole era from the 70s. It seemed super exciting. It seems very well made.
Bro, you don't sound super excited.
No, because it just seems odd. Like, where does it take place? Is it just like Elseworlds type of flick? It seems
so I think to give the people out there who have not seen it, you guys definitely should check it out, and it's on our Legion on Zoom Instagram account. But so the premise of the movie is like you were saying, right? It's this Bruce Lee type film. It's Batman in the 70s fighting fucking ninjas with his own crew of like this epic, martial artists, like what more can you ask for? Like, that sounds pretty fucking dope. And the animation looks great, and it's from Bruce Timm, right? From the ones who made, all, fucking the Batman animated series and like all the awesome movies, right?
Oh, shit, I didn't know that. Cool.
Yeah.
I am a fan of the fact that it brings a very bright light to a not so always expanded upon corner of the Batverse in DC Comics, and that's his backgrounds in martial arts. Because you get to see characters like the Lady Shiva and Richard Dragon, and I think Bronze Tiger, like in their actual like original elements. It's wild. I mean, because in all of Batman's epicness, people also forget that he's one of maybe arguably the top 5 fighters on Earth, which of course is like, come on now. But it's kind of cool to see a movie that's based on that, even though it's super out of place, chronologically speaking. But yeah, can't wait to see it actually.
And I'm glad you mentioned the names, because I was actually wondering about that when I saw the trailer. I'm like, all these other characters that is part of his crew, right? The Bronze Tiger, Lady Shiva, and Richard Dragon. I'm like, are those characters that exist? Like, I actually don't know. I think Lady Shiva, was Lady Shiva the villain in ¿cómo se llama? Stargirl? Like the one that was married to Sportmaster? No, right? What's her name? I'm getting these confused.
No, that's not Lady Shiva. She's something like a cat animal or some shit.
Oh, I think you're right.
What is it? Damn.
Shit. Somebody, we gotta double check that.
No, she's not Cheshire.
No, right? Because that's
no?
the daughter. No, I think. Oh, wait. I'm super confused right now.
All right. Well, someone looks into that. I think it's cool. And so wait, is that Bruce Lee in the movie?
No.
Okay, it's not Bruce Lee. It's just like a Shang-Chi looking. Sorry to jump all these characters and stuff, but I think it's a cool idea, and I'm glad that DC they keep releasing like Batman things, because I mean, as a fan, I don't get fatigued. Like, I want more Batman content.
Hell yes.
Although it's cool when they kind of like do different things, like when they make a Wonder Woman movie, or who else have they explored recently? I mean, not much. Right? Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman get movies.
And
Animated
Aquaman.
movies.
And Aquaman.
I mean, he had a Justice League Throne of Atlantis, right? But that wasn't like his. I mean, it kind of was his, but not really, right?
I mean, DC's playing it conservative. Like, they're doing what makes money. You can't blame them.
All right,
I mean,
just to confirm, no, right? It's not Lady Shiva. It's not Cheshire. You're close. It's Tigress.
Tigress.
Tigress. Right. But it's like that, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I thought I've seen Lady Shiva before and something else, but like other than that, like none of the other characters are people I know. And the guy who's like a Bruce Lee, Shang-Chi type guy is, what was his name? Something Dragon, right? Like, I guess Richard Dragon. So I guess it's about his soul. Like,
Richard Dragon is a white guy, right?
Yeah, with red hair, if I'm not mistaken.
What?
I think he's in it too. I mean, this movie's essentially like Enter the Dragon, right?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
With Batman in it, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. Definitely top 10. Fucking love Bruce Lee.
Word. No, yeah, but like it's cool to actually, and all these characters are canon, and they all have a very important place in Bruce Wayne's background when it comes to martial arts. And I think Lady Shiva has some connection to the Cassandra Cain Batgirl, right?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, that's her mom, I think.
Yeah.
Unless they retcon that shit.
Yeah, because didn't they have this big story in the recent run of Detective Comics where Lady Shiva, I think, came back or something and wanted to get Cassandra Cain, and it was this whole epic battle between Cain and Lady Shiva where that had like heavily involved with Clayface in that awesome Detective Comics like super team that Batman had, like, basically led by Tim Drake. Oh yes, cool. I was excited about the movie anyway, but even more so now that I remember who these characters are.
Yeah, and I'm definitely just gonna take it in stride as just like an Elseworlds thing, like out of place, and just trying to live in the moment and not overthink it conceptually and just appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah, because we just had the end cap to our continuity heavy DC animated movie universe. So, yeah.
Now, I was going to say, are you referring to the film that is considered a masterpiece of our generation, also known as Justice League War?
Justice League... I always fuck this up.
Apocalypse
Justice League Dark.
Justice League Dark.
Apocalypse War.
Wait. Justice League Dark Apocalypse War.
But two guys that love the movie, you guys don't even get the name right, though.
Bro, I got it.
Listen, man, it was great. It was an amazing movie.
I think we're gonna dive into those, like, the best animated movies at some point in this episode.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, while we're on the topic, but I mean, there's something that's actually been on the back of my head after watching the trailer for the Batman Soul of the Dragon trailer, and it was like, and there's something I wanted to ask you guys because I was struggling to come up with an answer for myself. Is what would be your favorite like non-superhero flicks from either DC or Marvel?
Wait, I think you mean non-DC or Marvel superhero flick.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. So,
right, because imagine.
Difficult.
My bad.
Exactly.
It'd be very difficult the other way around. I guess Howard
Fair
the
enough.
Duck.
Fair. Like dig deep. But yeah, essentially, yeah, like that's actually what I was wondering. My bad. It's really early still.
No, it's all good. I'll go first, unless you guys. I'm gonna go with The Crow with Brandon Lee, which I spoke about in the last episode. It's not just one of my all-time favorite comic book movies. It's one of my favorite movies ever, right? And it still holds up. I don't know if it's on Netflix or anything, but you guys check it out again. It still holds up, really well made. Amazing performance by the late Brandon Lee. And that shit spawned that shit has a strong cult following, right? Like people fucking love that movie.
Yeah, we were just talking about that a few episodes ago, and we've actually talked about it in several episodes now, and you guys have have fucking opened my mind about it, because I didn't even know it was like comic book actually based, and you guys know all the movies that have come out after that. No, that we know now more of The Crow thanks to all you guys.
the shittiness that is the Crowverse on the low.
Bro, and the soundtrack. They had Stone Temple Pilots. They had The Cure. A couple other good bands on that fucking album.
I'm gonna go with. Let me see. And hearing Rod talk about the Crow actually just kind of brought the answer to mind. I'm gonna say Wanted.
Oh, good.
Because that was my personal introduction to McAvoy. And at that moment, I fell in love.
And that's a Mark Miller property, no? That we've talked about before quite a lot about him too.
Yep.
I believe that was what wasn't it Vertigo?
No, well, I don't know. Image, I thought, no? Rod,
Image?
would be the one that knows.
Is it Image?
Shit, no. It's damn, it's something else. Yeah, we're really slow this morning, ladies and gentlemen.
And yet we are planning on redeeming ourselves very shortly.
It might be Image, but I don't think so.
But
check that. I think it's something else, like Dynamite or some weird shit. I don't know.
I'm double checking that right now.
Kaboom Comics.
Actually, it's Top Cow Production.
Top Cow. You go.
Okay, there you go.
Shout out to Top Cow.
Shout out to Top Cow. Our apologies. But yeah, that movie's awesome.
I've yet to read the graphic novel Wanted, although like I started collecting all of Mark Miller's work. But that one, since the movie was so satisfying, I never like got too deep into the comic book. But that's apparently like I think that one may have like launched him to stardom. Wanted.
Oh, shit.
I haven't seen that shit in a long time. I only saw it once actually in the movie theater.
Which oddly enough, like now that I think about it, this is for the first time I make that connection. It kind of has some is like a bit of a parallel to the Old Guard, where it's like there's a type of esoteric force at play throughout humanity's development. You get what I mean? Whereas in like the Old Guard is Andromache, whatever, she's just killing people at vital points in history, which is the same thing that's going on with the fraternity in Wanted. And also a little bit interesting is I'm surprised that they went with Mr. McAvoy as the casting, because I think in the comics he kind of looks like Eminem the rapper.
Oh, in the comic books, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in the comics. Yeah. But all in all, yeah, awesome movie. Yeah, awesome movie. You get some Angelina Jolie in there. You get some Morgan Freeman. You get some Common. There's some gunplay. There's some McAvoy. They flip a car. Come on, man. Wanted is the shit.
Yo, and shout out to Mark Miller because he has 5 film adaptations, right? 2 Kingsman with another one on the way, 2 Kick-Ass, and then Wanted. Of those 5, have you guys seen both Kingsman?
No,
I only saw the first one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think I saw the first 2, and I didn't like the second one a lot. The first one was good.
Same with Kick-Ass, right? Part 2 was even though it had Jim Carrey in it.
I don't think I saw that. I didn't see the second one. Damn, Jim Carrey on it.
I have to see the second one. And I think it's getting like a spin-off or a prequel, right? Something like that.
I don't know. That hit girl's like 30 at this point.
She's
a grown-ass woman.
They have to either recast or like go with it.
But the comics are still going though.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And of course, in Kick-Ass, I'm just grateful that we got some Nicolas Cage, as always.
Word, part 1 was amazing. That was a surprise hit right there. I didn't expect much from it. I didn't read the comic books, but when I went in there, and it's funny because when I went to see it in the movie theater, there were kids in the movie theater. They might have thought, I mean, the movie's called Kick-Ass, right?
Like, come on.
That should tell you something. But there were kids in there, and then there's like, that shit gets pretty graphic, right? There's like fucking in it, right? There's all kinds of shit. There's torture.
Hey, right here, right there, I'm glad that you went over that, because right there, who do you blame in that situation? 100% the parents. You took your kids to that movie purely based off the fact that the characters were colorful without doing 0 to negative research. You literally just walked with your kids into that movie. Hey, I'm gonna take my kids into somebody that looks like Gumby. You know what I mean? Like, and that wasn't Gumby, bro. Like, you should have done some research into that. That's on you.
Oh yeah, and that. Oh yeah, a fun fact about that movie, Kick-Ass. It has both Quicksilvers in it. It has Quicksilver from Age of Ultron as the
Yeah.
main
Oh, wow, yeah,
actor. Then
word.
it has Quicksilver from Days of Future Past, which is the other dude, the creepy dude from American Horror Story.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's coming out in WandaVision.
That guy's a really good actor. I enjoyed him a lot in American Horror Story. In like all the seasons he's been in. Yeah. That guy's a really good actor. He's pretty awesome. I've completely forgot what his name is though.
And I'm pretty sure Kick-Ass was rated R though too, right? Like I'm pretty sure that wasn't like a PG-13. So like if even with that, like if the parents are bringing the kid to a rated R movie because it looks like Gumby, like you're doing a few things wrong, probably.
Gumby.
No, I'm telling you, yo, every single parent. Well, I mean, come on, dude. Like he kind of does look a little bit like Gumby. But it's like to every parent that took their kid to see Kick-Ass and then got surprised, that's your fault for doing zero research on that. I just want to make that very, very clear.
Besides, these kids gotta get woke. They gotta see the reality of comic books, the grim reality of fiction.
That movie is kind of like a perfect crash course in the off chance that you do develop a superpower accidentally, like just like Kick-Ass, is like don't get dressed and try to be a vigilante. You're gonna get hurt.
Like, and the sequel is pretty good. Mark Miller did a sequel to Kick-Ass where it's like a new character. I can't recall her name, but she's like an ex Navy SEAL, I think.
Oh yeah, that came out like last year, no?
Yeah, it really good. Like, she comes back from overseas and she runs into all these financial hardships. Her baby daddy ran away with somebody.
Damn.
And then she just making ends meet. And the thing I like about Mark Miller is that he knows how to write a good cliffhanger. Like he'll leave the character on the brink of death on the last page of the issue, and then on the next issue you're like, okay, somehow this motherfucker gets out of this shit. But yeah, that's a really good book that I highly recommend.
So to round there, so far, so the choices are, I went with Wanted. Rod went with, what was your choice again? You said Kick-Ass, right?
The Crow,
and Miguel.
I was actually wondering about that, so I'm thinking. So just to be clear, because I have an option, but I don't know if it's completely irrelevant. Because do they have to have been comic book material first and then made into a film, just not Marvel and DC, or is it comic book-ish, superhero related? Because the movie that I'm thinking about that I do think deserves an honorable mention, especially since we've talked so much shit about Josh Trank because of his Fantastic Four film, right? I'm not saying he's a bad director, but he made a bad film. He made that one terrible film, but probably not all his fault. But I don't know if you guys saw the movie Chronicle that
Hell
he made.
Yeah.
Yo, that movie blew me away. That was a great superhero type film. But it's not based on actual comic book material, So that's the only thing. It's like, it does it count? Does it not count? Because it's 100%.
No, I think it's valid. That's a really good pick.
What was it about? I remember the title, but I don't think I saw it.
Yo, because it's supposed to be filmed. It's supposed to be filmed like people like doing like, ¿cómo se llama? Como like the Blair Witch kind of project kind of thing, or that like
or like where the kids, they find like a meteor and they get powers.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a throwback. Like I didn't remember that I saw that. Like, yeah, I literally just pulled that out of the hard drive.
Exactly.
I did see that. Yeah, that's a really good movie.
Yeah, because they have a lot of scenes like they're filming it like with their own like handheld camera or something, right? Like, and it's like, and it feels super raw, like the way they did the effects of like the powers are basically like telekinesis, pretty much, because they can fly, they move things with their minds and that kind of stuff, and they have some pretty epic battle scenes and shit, and it stars the future Green Goblin from the Andrew Garfield films, the Dane DeHaan. So he's like the main. Well, no, it's and Michael B. Jordan too. Fuck, I completely forgot about that. You got some comic book royalty there. Shit.
Yeah, because I think at the end of that movie, doesn't like one of the guys end up going to Tibet to like find out about his powers or some shit, where like he puts the camera on a mountain and then like he flies away?
I think so. I think
some shit like that.
Yeah, I think that's how the movie.
Right?
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah. Spoiler alert. Retroactive spoiler alert.
Yeah, because that movie came out, dude, in 2012, man. So that was already a lifetime ago.
I think I've only seen that once, and I just remembered something that's 8 years ago.
I was really impressed by it, and then when director got signed on for Fantastic Four, I'm like, oh shit, cool, man. He has this under his belt, but it doesn't always translate well, you know? Like maybe the bigger budget, the more pressure, more studio execs getting involved. I don't know.
Yeah, totally, exactly. And because you have seen his work and you saw that, whoa, because what I loved about that movie, which I felt like other movies were lacking, was that very realistic aspect of it, right? Like I felt like, oh shit, like this is like you can't even the CGI wasn't like that in your face. Like it felt like, oh shit, this is actually happening here in the real world. So which was fucking cool to see. But yeah, no, but exactly. Then when they did Fantastic Four, well, that kind of all went out the window. But that was a good movie. I love that movie.
It's like it almost makes you wonder, like, what happened between that and that? Like what happened to him as a human between Chronicle and Fantastic Four?
Nah, but like what Rod said, no, I'm thinking like the budget, dude, the producers, the executive producers, the companies getting involved. Like there's so many hands in the pot now, you know, like versus for Chronicle, it's like straight up, it's a screenplay that he wrote with somebody else. He directed it, so you can imagine and I'm sure it wasn't like the budget probably wasn't huge, you know, so probably pretty independent to do whatever he wants. Then as soon as you get so many people involved, I'm sure there's room for things to go wrong.
Facts, fair enough. Yeah, so that's a pretty well-rounded selection. So best non-big two, The Crow, Wanted, and Chronicle. A lot of unexpected choices. Now, obviously, to flip the script on a way bigger palette, I want to say, what is the best animated feature?
Oh,
Because that's a way bigger question.
I have some thoughts.
Thoughts? You have thoughts?
It's really hard to pick one. I'm not gonna pick Apocalypse War because it doesn't stand on its own very well, right?
At all,
Because
yeah.
you jump into some wild shit, and there's like 20 films before it. So if you're continuity buff, Apocalypse War is your shit. But if you know, just like a standalone movie, animated, we're talking about Marvel and DC, right?
Obviously. Or any, no? I think we'd be
any
open
animated movie. We're talking about like Pixar shit too. Like what the hell?
The superhero movie had to be,
Yeah.
Like comic book related, like the same thing we just did.
I just recently saw The Incredibles 2. Like that shit took like what, a decade to come out? Or some shit. All right, but anyway, let me not go off on a tangent. I'm gonna go with the one that's just like floating around in my head. I'm gonna go, and I think I've talked about this on a previous episode.
I think I know what you're gonna say.
All right, go for it. What is it? I don't think so. I don't think you know what I'm gonna say.
I want to say Flashpoint.
Damn.
Throw a wrench at you.
Fuck.
Just threw off his whole shit.
Damn. Yeah. All right. Damn, I think that's it. Shit.
What were you gonna say?
Here's what I was gonna say. Because you know that's the bookend to Apocalypse War, right? It starts with Flashpoint, although there's a little bit. It's not a seamless continuity. That those are the bookend movies. I was gonna go with Batman: Assault on Arkham for a few reasons. First of all, it's what the Suicide Squad film should have been. Secondly, it's based within the Arkham Batman universe. And, you know, we've spoken about that. It's one of the best video game trilogies, I think, superhero or not, you know, on current consoles, whatever.
Hell yeah.
And I just liked, you know, it had Kevin Conroy. It had the Suicide Squad. I don't know, and it was like an adult, right? So there's violence, there's like sex in it, you know, which is one thing that I like about DC, that they're not afraid to kind of go rated R with it at times. And I think that if you're gonna go rated R with an animated movie, it might as well be the Suicide Squad. I mean, especially with how sensitive people are nowadays, I'm surprised you can still get away with calling the team the Suicide Squad.
Word.
The Suicide Squad is serious, okay? You shouldn't be using it for comic books and movies and toys.
Much less become a squad. No, come on.
But yeah, no, that shit was really well made. And you don't have to play the Batman Arkham games to just get into it. It's, you know, it's just and it has the whole Amanda Waller with chips in people's brains. Like, I'm hoping that the James Gunn film that we're going to get in like, what, 5 years or whatever the fuck that shit is going to come out. I hope that it's closer to what Assault on Arkham was, and not the mess that we got in the feature film. But yes, I think ultimately, I think Flashpoint, that shit is the best right there. Fuck.
Wait! You just made your argument for like Assault on Arkham. Wait. So
it's that I don't want to talk about.
despite all that,
I think I've spoken about Flashpoint a lot and my love of Jeff Johns. So I wanted to go a little bit different with it, and also a film that maybe fans haven't really seen yet, because Assault on Arkham kind of was a little bit under the radar. It wasn't as big as Flashpoint,
right?
But yeah, that's my pick, gentlemen.
Yeah, actually, I need to see that one again. I think I've only seen it once, and I remember really liking it. But I think I was busy doing something while I was watching it. I really want to rewatch because there's two animated like Suicide Squad-ish films, right? Oh, the Hell to Pay. There's Hell to Pay. So I think I get those two confused. But I think I do remember the Assault on Arkham was the one I liked the most because I remember one of those was okay, and one was great.
Yeah, right? Hell to Pay was all right. It was good. It was a follow up to Flashpoint.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll go next, taking advantage of because let me know. I feel almost this is cheating because my choice for best animated film is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh,
that counts, right? That come on, it's an animated,
of course.
Yeah, because we know that for the fans out there, we know that most animated films are straight to DVD, straight to Blu-ray, straight to on demand kind of thing, right? So I think Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was like, I think for the first time in a while, right, was one of those big animated films that went to theater, and so that's why I thought it was a little bit like cheating, right? Because it was like at the upper level, and I'm sure they have a budget that's bigger than the budget for the animated films that DC and Marvel do. But yeah, like if I have to pick an animated film, it's definitely for me the best fucking animated superhero film ever.
Damn, valid as choice. Bit of a cop out, but because it's so good, ironically enough, it's an ironic good choice. Let me see. I think I'm gonna go with. Let me see here. Just thinking. Okay, so one thing I want to do is I want to give an honorable shout out to the first animated feature I ever saw, which was Batman: Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh, that was good.
And that had a theatrical release.
Roared.
Yeah. Honorable mention to Batman Mask of the Phantasm, one of the OG animated features. But then I remember like this almost being like a genuine horror movie, like the way it made me feel inside. And I'm surprised that Rod didn't say this, to be honest. Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker.
Yeah, that I was thinking about it.
Yes.
One of the best animated features. Because one, I think it had a rated R edition also, correct? Like a director's cut or some shit like that.
Yeah, it was. I don't think it was rated R, but it was a director's cut.
Yeah, director's cut.
Definitely watch that one for the fans that haven't seen it. I think it's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, and the premise of that is crazy. It delves deeper into like the Joker's canon and the whole twisted, dark, like underlying history of the Bat family and how things progressed as everyone got older. It's a really wild movie. And of course, it feeds into the Batman Beyond lore, because I understand that Batman Beyond, it kind of started as a like Elseworlds type of thing or what if, but let's be honest, we all want it to be canon. It's kind of implied canon on the low, you know what I mean? Like, and it's awesome. It's awesome. Definitely Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker.
Damn, that was a good one. That's something, and I've seen exactly. I don't know where it's on. I think is it Amazon or it's in something. I've been craving to rewatch it because it's also one of those things. I think I saw it once. I think maybe twice at the max. But even if I saw it twice, that was like what, decades ago now. Like it was really fucking good.
That shit is so throwback that I remember getting released on a DVD case that has like the paper, like I guess like the cardboard, like hard paper with the plastic clasp on the side. Yeah, super old movie, of course, but like yeah, definitely that's my choice.
And then it filled in some blanks for the fans, like between Batman, the animated series, season 4, and then Batman Beyond, whatever, season 1. Like, there's a lot of questions like, oh, what happened to this guy? What happened to her? What happened to him? So, you know, you get some good flashback sequences in Return of the Joker. And of course, Mark Hamill returning. And then, of course, showing like one of Joker's many faces, this one being like the genetic genius. He's a geneticist, and he manipulates shit. Not only that, he manages to like encode genes onto microchips. Yo, he's on some Elon Musk shit on this movie, yo.
Joker Stark and shit.
Word.
That's the Joker we miss in the 3 Jokers. It should have been the 4th Joker, and he's the one that made it all, the geneticist.
Yeah, and I was wondering too about like when that scene in 3 Jokers when there was that pool of all those like, you know, failed Jokers. I'm like, okay, this is delving into like the genius Joker, because there is a genius Joker, right?
Damn.
Yeah, I mean there kind of has to be if you think about it.
Maybe, yeah. I do want to say also a little fun fact. Although you mentioned as a throwback the Mask of the Phantasm, I will want to say for those of you out there who were like, oh, word, right, that was such a cool character. The Phantasm is gonna make for the first time their DC Comics debut this week. Actually, if you're listening to this, I think when it comes out, I think it was the week before or something. It's gonna come out in Tom King's and Clayman's Batman and Catwoman miniseries, the 12-issue maxi series is gonna come out. So Phantasm's gonna make the debut there. So that'll be fucking cool and exciting to see how does Tom King bring Phantasm into the actual proper DC Comics lore.
You gotta love Tom King. I'm definitely checking that out. And it's part of the DC Black Label, right?
Word. Which again, it's one of those things that's confusing, right? And we've talked about this, like, so wait, is it canon or is it not canon, right? Like, because Tom King's been saying it will be canon because it's supposed to be like his finale to his Batman run. You know, all the thing he started during Batman, and then after City of Bane, with that how his Batman run ends. Now he's doing this book, which is in Black Label. But right, we talked about this with the 3 Jokers, right? Which is it canon or not? Like, I'm so fucking confused with that.
And either way, if there's like a message that DC has like, I don't know, hammered home recently, is that we don't have to be so invested in continuity anymore, right? It's like a shit show now. Just like stories for fun.
Nah, man, like I want some type of, because like to be honest, like I see what I'm not gonna front, like to me it seems like DC is just going the route of, and is like even not to get political, but just like Trump is going with like this whole death metal shit, just throwing shit out there, like this is the, like just take this, take that, and people are just like eating it up. It's like there's no continuity, there's lack of sense in where things seem to be going. It's like you said, like it's almost too creative. It's like let's rein it in a little bit.
Yeah, no, I want some continuity. I like the idea of having like the Elseworlds kind of thing. I like that. And I like having an idea of like, oh, this is a standalone comic where you can do, the writer, the creative is given free reign to do whatever they want, for sure. But I do think, but with outside of that, like I want some kind of continuity. Jesus Christ, because then that's the problem. You know, that's why they did this. The Crisis on Infinite Earths was to try to fix their decades and decades of disastrous continuity. You know, I'm like, don't go back to that.
Yeah, I don't know. Me, to be honest, I think as far as continuity goes when it comes to DC, I think ever since Identity Crisis, which we had a discussion about an episode or 2 ago, ever since then, I think DC's been trying to like find its footing in like its own reality, and it just hasn't been able to do so. And speaking of animated features and continuity, because I actually have to check this out myself because I'm curious as to where it lands within their animated continuity, or if it's a standalone thing, which is kind of seems like, is the Deathstroke Knights and Dragons animated feature, which I think Rod checked it out, right?
Yeah, I'm the only one that has seen it. And Ches, you claim to be a Deathstroke fan, and yet you
claim.
haven't watched. He got his own movie, bro.
This is very true.
So you've been lying, Ches, right? You've been lying. You don't love Deathstroke. You hate him, then, right? What's going on?
Come on,
That's
man.
that's
This is a
pretty
safe space.
guys, I'm sorry.
Or is it your hate that makes you lust? Is that the right word that I'm thinking about? Lust?
I do
Anyway,
think it's lust. I
let-
think he lusts
No,
for
fair
him.
enough. Fair enough. You know what? Fair enough. I have been slacking, and to be honest, I can only blame myself, and I just want to apologize to both of you gentlemen and the fans for not having watched the movie yet. And I promise in the future to be on the ball when it comes to all matters Deathstroke and Slade Wilson related.
Yeah. There's a good chance that while people are listening to this, you're watching it in your crib, butt naked,
Lusting.
lusting over Slade Wilson. Not to be confused with Wade Wilson. All right. So a little bit about this movie. It comes out of left field a little bit. Like I feel like it was almost like a DC showcase. You know, DC does these like mini movies for some of their lesser known characters like Phantom Stranger, Jonah Hex, which was really good by the way. There's a Jonah Hex a mini where he's voiced by Thomas Jane. You may know him as the Punisher from like
Oh.
2004 or some shit like that.
Damn, nice.
So yeah, so this Deathstroke is called Knights and Dragons, right? It's a standalone movie. It delves obviously into his family problems, which is like a recurring theme with Deathstroke, right? Because he tries to kind of be a family man, yet he's like the highest paid killer in the world or some bullshit like that. And the animation is completely different from anything else we've seen. It takes some getting used to. It's a minimalist art style that allows for greater motion, which I'm kind of for that. Like like tone down the detail and increase the action. It's reminiscent of like Metal Gear Solid. This movie, like if you like Metal Gear Solid shit, like government and black ops and secret military industrial complex science experiments and all that bullshit,
Yeah.
you'll be into this. And it revolves around him and his kids. I think it's Rose Wilson and Jericho,
Yeah.
and then his
Oh.
wife, the mother, and she's a fucking badass. And then it's him coming into conflict with Hive. You also get Bronze Tiger, good action, very violent. Second only, I mean, I haven't seen many animated movies this year, I don't think, but I would rank Deathstroke second to the Mortal Kombat animated movie that came out like a few months ago. Like that one had a slightly better animation and slightly better action. This one is like right below it. But if you're a Deathstroke fan and you want to know a little bit more, also Deathstroke is voiced by Michael Chiklis.
Nice.
Your thing. Yeah, so I don't know. Out of 5 stars, I'll probably give it like 3.5. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. I watched it till the end. Whatever, fans. Check out the trailer, and if you like the trailer, you'll probably like the movie.
Yeah, but not bad. Like 3.5 out of 5. I was expecting it to be a little bit lower, especially because what you were saying about the animation style. Because I think that was one of the things when I saw the trailer that kind of threw me off a little bit. But now I think I'd be especially I like how you framed it in terms of like it allows for more action. I'm like, oh shit, okay. I'm a little bit more curious to check it out. I was wondering. So you said because it's based, it's like it has a style of some of the minis before, but it's not a mini movie, right? Like how long is the film?
I think it's over an hour.
All right,
I
good.
think, or at least an hour. Definitely on the short side.
Yeah, and come on, like it's only the beginning of the Deathstroke avalanche, because as soon as we see more of Joe Manganiello of like his Deathstroke on the movie screen, it's a wrap. It's gonna be as big, if not bigger, and this is me being biased, than all that Deadpool nonsense going on.
Come on.
That is me being biased because, and by the way, if I'm not mistaken, the whole creation of the Deadpool Wade Wilson character is a just attempt to mock Slade Wilson and Deathstroke.
Totally. Deadpool was created afterwards, and I remember reading something about it was sort of done on purpose. I think to make fun of Slade, right? Because Slade Wilson and we have Wade Wilson as Deadpool. They're both mercenaries, but obviously the stories about each is very different.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's where you know, it was on purpose. It's a little bit, you know, too on the nose. I'm surprised that DC didn't sue or something. I guess it's different enough not to sue.
No, yeah, and that's not the only instance that happened, but I think like that's just one of the most obvious. To put it within some like fighting game context, and I know this sounds out of nowhere, but think of Deadpool as like what Dan is to Ken and Ryu in the Street Fighter verse. He's like a play on those
Looking for
characters.
continuity errors in tonight.
We have a fourth guest today, ladies and gentlemen. We have Mr. Wade Wilson himself in the form of a decapitated head.
Oh
not
shit!
COVID.
The head moves. Oh Christ!
And it talks. Nice. We
You know
have
what?
some.
Let's take a walk around the block. I think the embarrassment of you carrying around a toy is worth the cardiovascular bet.
All right.
That is so fucking dope.
And that goes to show that Deadpool is essentially the Beetlejuice of comic books, because even within our podcast, he was able to break, what was that, like the fifth wall or some shit? But yeah, it's only, I see it as only the beginning of a much needed Deathstroke awareness avalanche.
Awareness. That sounds like some week we're gonna see football players wearing a pin for Deathstroke awareness.
Yeah, word.
That's I'm gonna hashtag Deathstroke awareness month.
An underappreciated character, ladies and
Facts.
gentlemen.
Facts. Who, by the way, just a quick side note, much to my surprise, so I understood how epic of a character he was, right? So when I first took a dive into the DC Rebirth run of Deathstroke, like, is when it hit me that he's such an epic character that he affects like geopolitical events via the contracts he accepts within DC. So a lot of the shit that happens just like outside of like all the superhero bullshit, just like within the world, Deathstroke is one of the main factors like in that. Like that's insane. So yeah.
And they may have pulled some of that for the animated movie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it starts off that way, you know, one of these, you know, fucking geopolitical assassinations and government overthrowing, you know, all that bullshit. It's like G.I. Joe on steroids.
Oh yes, throwback.
Facts.
All right, now my question is though, I wonder, will Ches finally give in and watch this film? Apparently, he's such a Deathstroke fan. Deathstroke awareness shit. Come on, are you gonna watch it, Ches?
As the launch of hashtag Deathstroke Awareness Month, I'm going to watch the movie. It's going to be an ongoing campaign to bring awareness to Slade Wilson.
Watch for it on our accounts. Instagram at Legion on Zoom. Watch Ches will be all about Deathstroke awareness for the following weeks.
And I'll add, it was slightly better than the Superman animated movie we got. I don't know. I forgot what that shit was called.
Wait, he was in a Superman animated movie?
No, the most recent Superman animated movie.
Wasn't it called Man of Tomorrow?
Yeah, Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah, Deathstroke was slightly better than that.
Okay, nice. Okay, cool.
And although I have Death in the Family, I've yet to really dive into that one. That's another film we got this year, another animated film.
Oh yeah, that's one that we all got to take a dive into, because it'd be really awesome if like we all took different choices and just talked about the different outcomes that
Good
ended up
idea.
in that movie.
I'm with it.
Yeah, word. Okay. Yeah. So we have that plan, hopefully, for you guys out there. That's going to be a pretty cool thing. And in the name of great cinema, to address one of the bigger questions, is one thing that everyone has an appreciation for is when a story gets really fleshed out, or when a character gets really, really fleshed out and expanded upon. And it's very rare that we get a complete trilogy franchise within like our favorite superhero movies. What would you guys say are some of your favorite, to put it best, complete experiences as far as like the concept of a trilogy goes?
Shit. That's hard though. That's hard. That's gonna be really fucking hard. And I think we gotta be loose on it, because I think obviously everyone here would possibly say, all right, well, Batman, like the Christopher Nolan trilogy, right? Because that's it. All right, the argument done. Good night, everybody.
That's it.
We're
Bye.
done.
Later.
because I feel like
Yeah, maybe I would have said that before watching Batman versus Superman. And I'm sorry for the fans that are really passionate about Christian Bale and Christopher Nolan's vision, but I thought that that was the pinnacle of Batman on screen until I saw Ben Affleck. So, my answer may not be the Dark Knight trilogy, or maybe it is. I don't know. Who's gonna go first?
all right, so because I'm just thinking about it in terms of like the how do we wrap our heads around this, right? Because like we know, because our problem is too, right? Because I think notoriously in movies, any movies, right? Any movie, doesn't have to be necessarily comic book movies, that sequels tend to be like either they're going to be great or they're going to be worse, right? Than the first movie. And then to have a fucking trilogy be good, that's fucking near impossible. That's pretty hard. Because for example, I don't know, like a part of me almost wants to say that the trilogy that I would say for me was like, for example, the Sam Raimi fucking Spider-Man films.
Oh,
but Spider-Man 3 wasn't great, but it's like, do two good movies out of 3, is that good enough to select a trilogy? That's what I'm trying to understand.
That's up to you, right? You decide.
Yeah,
that.
word,
This is
man.
your all-time favorite trilogy.
If you want to go ahead and fucking sacrifice your principles, go ahead.
I thought just being the Marvel fanboy that you are, you would have automatically went for Captain America, because they threw everything with the kitchen sink at that trilogy.
Yeah, word.
Right? You got
word.
everything. You got him fighting Iron Man. You got fucking Spider-Man.
Bucky coming
Winter
back.
Soldier. Oh
Yeah,
my god, that movie was so fucking good.
And I'm glad you're mentioning that, because that was the other thing I was struggling with, because in my mind I was also thinking, but like, are they trilogies? Because it's almost like Civil War is almost like an Avengers fucking 3, right? After Age of Ultron. So I'm confused, right? Exactly. Because yeah, you're right. Technically, because of the name of the movie, those would be Captain America trilogy, right? Because we have the first Avenger, Winter Soldier, and Civil War, right? Damn, exactly. I think I would rather go with that than actually.
Or maybe open it up to like franchise. Like, what's the best superhero franchise? Well,
All right, you go for it. All right, Rod, or Ches.
Fuck.
You guys, I'm still thinking about it.
Wait, damn. All right, so you know what? I think I might go with X1 through 3.
What?
Like as like my favorite trilogy. I don't know, like, because
Damn, in the last episode, literally the volume 1 of this one, Rod shared his soul saying how X3 was his most disappointing film, man, or the worst film ever. I don't remember whichever it was. And you dare say that's one of the best trilogies. Jesus.
with all due respect, fuck Rod.
Fair enough. Fair.
I said with all due respect. No, yeah, because like, all right, so as far as like the trilogy experience goes, and try to erase the time that goes in between movies, right? If you would have watched, Rod just took a really serious, he's fucking absorbing what happens.
He's ready. He's like,
Yes!
I was thinking right there.
Rod
That's the most thing I've done all day.
I appreciate that. I'm genuinely complimented by that. But all right, so if you erase, right, the time that goes on in between each movies, and if you just were to watch them back to back to back, I think like that's one of the trilogies that feels the most cohesive. Like, in my opinion, it has like it feels like one shared experience. You know what I mean? Like, I think like even though X3 has its flaws, but X1 blew our minds. X2 crushed that notion that a sequel's gonna suck, and X3 kind of sucked, but it still remained within the same tone. The universe felt right. You know what I mean? We got fucking Kelsey Grammer, wavy as hell. I will not let go of that.
Yeah, second time you mentioned that.
And I will continue
Might
to
be the
mention
third.
it. I don't care. Fans, go out there and Google Kelsey Grammer Beast. My God.
Yeah, perfect casting.
And I like that you told him to Google it, not watch the film. Don't watch the movie. Just Google the photo of Kelsey Grammer as Beast.
Yeah. Like, people don't have to go through that. That's crazy. But yeah, like in my opinion, X1 through 3 feels like a really good experience, like throughout. You know what I mean? Like I try to not see them as individual movies, but like as one whole thing.
Damn, this one's tough. Wait, are we doing franchise or trilogy? Should we do trilogy?
Trilogy.
Trilogy.
Yeah, see, that makes it tougher. That makes
Damn.
it tougher.
Yeah.
All right. Just because I'm legally, I must say this without even seeing the finale of of Zack Snyder.
No.
So it's supposed to have been Man of Steel's Part 1, BVS's Part 2, and Justice League's Part 3. Well, let's just put that to the side. I think, and again, we're all gonna struggle, right? Because Miguel, you had Raimi, Ches, you had the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
Part 3 is the stinker, right? Unless
Yes.
you want to flip that whole shit on its head and talk about Thor, because Thor Ragnarok was the best by far film of that whole trilogy, right? Let's not forget that Thor had a trilogy.
Shit.
But I'm gonna go with, I guess picking the Nolan Batman movies is a bit of a cop out.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with more. I'm gonna go a little bit, similar to what you guys did. I'm gonna go with a strong Part 1 and 2, and then a turd for Part 3, which is technically the Tim Burton Batman universe was that was envisioned as a 3-parter. He was gonna have, he had all these plans for like I mentioned in previous episodes, introducing Robin in Part 3, potentially having Robin Williams do the Riddler.
Who was supposed to be Robin?
Marlon Wayans.
That's right.
And then Billy D. Williams as Harvey Dent. So yeah, anyway, come on, Batman 89 is top 3 greatest, not just comic book movies, but my favorite movies of all time.
Definitely
Part 2
number 3.
was amazing, right? Part 2 was darker, riskier, essentially the Tim Burton ran into a shit show because it was a bit too dark, a bit too risque, right? And then he got gracefully exited for Part 3, which wasn't that bad considering the stinkers that we've gotten as Part 3s. Batman Forever isn't that terrible.
But then my question, to you about that, but isn't then Batman and Robin?
Yeah.
So it's not a trilogy then, right?
Right.
Or parter. Like, where do you draw the line, sir?
Damn.
Facts.
Any other completed trilogies that we're not thinking about?
You when you said Captain America and Thor, that also reminded me Iron Man technically also was a trilogy.
Yep.
Yeah, but that as a trilogy was like, damn, Part 3 was trash, bro.
Yeah, I never went back to it. I think I saw it twice, and I didn't feel the need to go back to it. Although I really liked Part 2. Even though people didn't respond to it that well, that shit was good.
Yeah, I think for me it was just like more like, because Iron Man 2 was okay. I didn't love it, but it was okay. I think because how good Iron Man 1 was, it's hard to really, how do you top that shit,
Yeah.
And then like Avengers, if you want to, como se dice,
damn,
hand wave the rules a little bit, right? Because Avengers, and then you have Avengers Age of Ultron, and then technically you can think of Infinity War and Endgame as one film.
Yeah.
Right.
So that could count, I guess. If we allow it, we are the
And in that case, the middle one is the suspect one, right? Which wasn't that bad either.
Yes, exactly.
And then we have Blade, right? Part 1 was good, Part 2 was better, and Part 3 was a piece of shit.
Yeah. Why do people get lazy around that third part, man? God,
I think they try to go too big.
All right. Mm-hmm. Big question. What's the best Part 3?
Oh, that's easy, right? Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Shit was epic.
Fair enough.
Damn, but so was Thor Ragnarok.
No, yeah, I would say Thor Ragnarok is the best 3.
That movie was...
Because also Thor Ragnarok was the best out of the 3, and Dark Knight Rises wasn't the best out of the 3.
Yo, you know what's crazy? Like, it's been in the back of my head that I've been going over, like, wait, what was the second Thor? I completely forgot about Thor: The Dark World.
Dark World.
I forgot about that movie altogether. That's crazy.
Like, it was okay. I liked it. Actually, a lot of people give it shit for not being a very good movie. I liked it. It's not obviously the best movie, but I loved it. I think I'd be willing to rewatch it again to enjoy. So, because Malekith comes out in it, you know, and
Yeah.
he's a dope character. But yeah, actually, I had another thought though. Another thought. So what about Wolverine? Does he technically has a trilogy, right? If we were to count, I guess it would be the Origins, then the Wolverine, right? And then Logan.
Well, those movies.
Nobody wants to use that
Yeah.
one. Everybody's like, nah, we're good.
However, though, like, but every cloud has a silver lining, and in that trilogy where we got to see Silver Samurai, we got the awesome Sabretooth in Liev Schreiber. But damn, those movies are whack.
What? Logan?
Yeah.
Not Logan, but like the other ones weren't exactly all that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was offended.
Nah, you
Yeah.
wildin', bro. Like,
Bro,
Logan
I got
what? Okay, what? So, like, are you really gonna place like the Wolverine trilogy, quote unquote, as a contender because of Logan?
Nah, I got the Punisher trilogy over that shit. I got with Dolph Lundgren in part 1.
Yes,
Thomas Jane,
number
and then
2.
Ray Stevenson, my favorite, Frank Castle. I've already said that before, but I'm gonna say it again. Check out Warzone.
Nah, man.
Heads explode in that shit.
But yeah, dude. Shit.
All right, but so Rod, so what are you picking, bro? Because like technically your Batman, you know, one, Tim Burton one.
I got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles part 1 through 3.
Oh.
No, I don't even remember. I think part 2 was with the juiced up Toka and Razar, and then the Super Shredder, and then part 3 they went to the past or some bullshit.
Yeah,
right?
Turtles in Time.
Forever since I've seen. I did see part 1 last year again because that's also on Amazon.
Yeah, and part 2 is the one that has fucking Vanilla Ice in it, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
And when they start breakdancing with the shell, the spinning and all that bullshit.
Yo, I'm not gonna front now when I think about across those movies. Which is the one where they like have to go to the woods and they have to like do like the meditation circle and all that stuff? Is that part 1 or 3? That they have to like where they go to the woods to retreat?
I think
1.
Yeah.
Oof,
After they lose, right?
Yeah.
They lose, like, and then they go on some soul-searching mission.
Yo, if you watch all 3 of those movies, I think those movies got lost in time. Like, everyone says, yeah, those movies are awesome. Yo, those movies were an experience, man. Those were filmed on the low. Like, damn.
I vaguely remember that shit. And RoboCop got 3 parts.
Oh, word.
Right, now we're just throwing movie franchises. What else got 3 parts? Terminator. Bro, Terminator. That's a comic. Is it?
No, it's not a comic book, I think. And but Terminator also has more than 3 movies now, you know? Because the new one just came out not that long ago, which is like the 4th or the 5th movie.
The continuity of the first 3 Transformers flicks was pretty epic, though.
Nah.
Dang.
And I think that became a comic book after the cartoon, right? I think.
What?
Yeah.
The Transformers.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
I've never read a Transformers comic book in my life.
Actually, I have because they're on Comixology Unlimited, and I fucking love the cartoons. And I started reading some of them. I'm not like deep in them, but they're not that bad. Like, it's actually kind of interesting because it's a big ass fucking world, and they're a little bit, they're quite a bit dark in the comic books.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit more complex and nuanced than they make it out to be. Like factions and like
it's complicated.
Like it's almost very much kind of like real life war politics and shit.
Yeah, like people hate Optimus Prime too. Like, he's not really treated as a hero because people like blame him for the ongoing war with Megatron. It's like intense. It's like, what am I reading here? Like, I thought he was a good guy. No, like, Jesus Christ, it's complicated.
Yo, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that the phrase beast mode that we hear a lot came from like the Transformers Beast Wars. Like they used to get into beast mode, right? They turn into animals instead of cars. And then that shit just like took off. Like, yo, bro, chill. You're in beast mode right now. You know, you're beasting.
What's the correct word for that? The etymology?
Like the breakdown of the word.
Oh yeah, the root of the word.
I think that's where that shit came from. Because I started hearing Beast Mode after that cartoon. And then it was like a CGI Transformers cartoon.
Yeah, actually, it was pretty good. I like that
Yeah,
Beast
dude,
Wars
I
cartoon.
remember Beast Wars. That shit was awesome. That shit was groundbreaking.
Actually, fun fact with that too, if you guys haven't seen it, I would recommend actually right now on Netflix, there's a new Transformers cartoon. It's like an anime type style, like 3D thing called War for Cybertron. And it's a trilogy. Actually, it's a trilogy, but they haven't come out with the next two parts. Only the first chapter is up right now, and apparently, I think for the third chapter, they said the Beast Wars characters are going to come out, and it's actually pretty good because it's also kind of adult-ish. You know, it's still for a little bit for kids, but like young adult. But I would recommend seeing that too. It's actually kind of fun.
I'm definitely gonna check that out. I didn't even know that was on Netflix. Appreciate it.
And and if fans listening, if we missed any trilogies or any non-Marvel DC blockbusters, please let us know.
Word. Let us know in the comments. Let us know on our Insta, on our Twitter, Legion on Zoom, and let us know at our Gmail, legiononzoom@gmail.com. Give us reminders. We like to argue with you guys, debate, get into it, engage. We're here for you.
Yes.
And just to send us off, I think Wade has a few more closing remarks.
Hit us off, Wade.
Hey, I feel a little lightheaded. Oh no, it's the body. Definitely the missing body.
Yes.
Hope that was funny for the fans listening. Come on, man, you can do better than that.
We'll give it one more shot for the fans.
Doing this? Really?
Yes, we are.
I'm glad you feel the same way about me.
Aw.
Resuming chapter 137. The Dark Phoenix Saga. Locked in the battle with their friend and teammate, Jean Grey, the team finally understood the truth. Jean didn't love Scott. Not Warren, Charles, or Logan. She loved Wade. And no power in the Marvelverse could keep her from him.
And no power in the Marvelverse could keep us from you, Wade, because the Legion has actually, if you think about it, broken the nth wall at this point. I don't even want to do the math. And with love in our hearts, always a pleasure, guys. Always an honor to serve with you, gentlemen. I'm Ches.
You and I'm Miguel.
I'm Rod. Peace out.
Deuces. Later, guys.
Legion on Zoom, starring and produced by Jose Perez, aka Ches, Rodney Martinez, and myself, Miguel Arce. Please subscribe on wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or shoot us an email at legiononzoom@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media at Legion on Zoom.